Dear students, today we will talk about food processing in rural areas. The topics which will be covered, they will be introduction of the sector, and introduction will be more oriented towards rural areas. Then advantages of India as a whole for rural agro processing, then scope of agro processing and its export potential, and in all these points we will emphasize on rural areas only, and then the factors which affect the demand, then advantages of rural areas where we want to push this activity, and what are the types of processing, and then we will discuss the sectors and the options available for rural areas, means what can be done in rural areas without much of technology and much of investment, and the constraints which we want to overcome, the supports which is required from government or other sectors, then what is the present government support to this sector, and in this topic we will cover the grants and other facilities available from Government of India, then the initiatives which are required at macro level involving bigger agencies, maybe government, maybe corporates or other agencies, then how we can reach global market, and we will discuss role of bigger institutions like KVIC or NAFED, and finally we will discuss the way ahead, and then we will sum up our discussion. So agro processing by definition is any intervention through which the produce, the primary agriculture produce, can be turned into a useful commodity. It means if we are converting the grain into flour, or we are further refining the flour, or we are making product from the wheat flour, they are all agro processing. Not only that, if we are grading potatoes or we are grading the fruits into various types depending on size or stage of ripening, this is all primary processing. So there is a lot of scope of processing, we will discuss one by one. India has large labor force and most of it is engaged in agriculture sector, and this labor force is not employed fully during whole of the year because the operations are seasonal. The economy is fragile and it is not able to sustain this large number of people because of incomes, because of margins, and the agro processing is one of the sectors which can generate employment and which can provide lot of value addition, and it means that sustainability of this population will increase. And further to this, it will also result in generating an ancillary market because it requires a lot of equipments. The losses which we are suffering on account of rottening of fruits, vegetables or wastage of other products, they will be reduced, and whatever byproducts will come, there will be efficient use of those byproducts. The focus of processing will be on rural areas because some focus is on urban areas. Presently big projects are all located in urban areas, and the benefit of agriculture produce which is primarily coming from rural areas is being given to urban areas. All processing activities are taking place in urban areas. Traditionally the produce of rural areas is being processed in urban areas. I have already covered this point. You can see dal mills, you can see rice mills, sugar factories, extraction units. Most of these units are located in either in urban areas or they are located in semi-urban areas or small towns. The value addition of these produce is going to the urban people, and villagers who are producing, they are not getting enough out of it. And technology wise, it is not a very high technology area. and technology is available for agro processing. But general orientation these days is towards urban areas, so we have to shift the technology also, or make available the technology to rural people. The packing techniques, they are also very important. They are part of this chain, and we all know that attractive packing is very essential item for marketing. Then another thing is enhancing shelf life. It means the shelf life of the product can be increased by some simple processes or sometimes complicated processes, and this is also a part of processing, and it increases income of the persons who are producing it. At present, the sector is not recognized in our rural areas. Generally, it is limited to milk, or it is limited to extraction of oils. The large varieties of products, different taste and huge population are some of the driving factors. Because of large population, we will have large consumption, and our people from south to north, east to west, they have different type of tastes. So we have lot of variety of food, and there is lot of scope of variety in processing also. The small scale cottage and tiny industries with low investment, they can transform the agro processing sector. Even in these days, some work is being done in some areas at very small scale, and they are trying to market it, but it is not organized. So our aim will be to organize, to discuss how to organize the marketing and how to improve the quality control. Let us talk about India. Our country is a gifted nation for agro processing. Why we say this? Because we have very high cultivable land. About 50% of land is cultivable as compared to other countries. We have lot of agroclimatic zones. It means different type of seasons are there, different type of soils are there, different type of agriculture can be practiced in entire nation, and due to this there is lot of type of produce, variety of produce. We can find hundreds of vegetables, hundreds of fruits which are grown in India, and different type of grains at different times. Year round something is available to eat, something is available for processing. Then the livestock population is there, and it is highest in the world. If we are able to increase the productivity of livestock, then there is tremendous scope for increasing the production and also processing. Then production of cereals can also be increased. Our productivity is very low as compared to the entire world. High production of other items like tea, coffee, tobacco, spices, sugar cane, oil seed. All these things can be processed in different forms. Tea industries are already organized, coffee and tobacco industries are organized, but lot of new things can be done in sector of spices or sugar cane or oil seeds. Productivity of oil seeds can be increased. Similarly, the different type of products which are available from oil seeds, they can be shifted to rural areas, because byproduct of oil extraction is highly usable for animal feed. People sometimes say, what is the scope for processing? In India, there is unlimited scope, because in fruits and vegetable sector, the present level of processing is only 2.5% as compared to the world average of 20 to 80%. Means some of the nations are processing their 20 to 80% produce. In case of milk, the present level of processing is satisfactory. It is about 36%, but in other nations it is 60 to 80%. And in cereal sector, our present level of processing is 8 to 9%. and other nations they are processing 50 to 60%. So we can see that there is a large scope, unlimited scope at present, and we can go for thousands of units and which are processing thousands of products. Our international share, our share in the international trade is very less, about only 1.5%. So there is a scope for increasing it. We can export lot of things, and at present in European nations there is a demand for organic produce, there is demand for hand processed produce, the demand for processed food which is sun dried, that is without employing any source of energy like petroleum or electricity, only sun dried products, lower energy consuming products, and there is a huge demand for zero preservative food items in European Union and USA also. And we know that traditional processed food, whatever we were making, they were all without any preservatives, and if at all any preservative was there, it was natural preservative, maybe sugar, maybe salt, maybe vinegar. Everything which we were using for processing, they were all natural products. But there is a transportation time, there is a transportation cost. So European market and West Asian markets, they are near to us and they offer a good opportunity. Why shift this focus to rural areas? Why not to urban area? There should be some advantage of shifting the entire thing to not entire, but at least 60 to 70% processing to rural areas. First advantage is transportation cost. It means if processing will take place at the point where the produce is there, there will be very low transportation cost for the input supply. We know that agriculture produce supply is voluminous, volume is more, weight is less, it is not concentrate thing, therefore transportation cost adds to the cost of input, and when this processed thing will be transported, then at that time it will be in concentrate form and cost of transport will be much lower. Another thing is availability of multiple raw materials. Whatever raw material we want for processing, it will be available so that we can utilize the capacity of the plant. Different type of materials, sometimes grains, sometimes vegetables, sometimes fruits, sometimes milk, everything will be available year round. Another biggest advantage is low cost of land for establishing units. The cost of land in rural areas is much lower as compared to the cost of land in urban areas. Then the low cost of labor, because agricultural operations are seasonal operations, there will be labor, unemployed persons in the lean season, so the persons will get good employment, and self or family labor can also be employed if farmers are directly going into processing. The use of solar energy, which requires lot of open areas for primary processing and also secondary processing, this is also very helpful in rural areas because lot of area is open, so we can make use of solar energy to the maximum extent in rural areas. In urban areas, getting lot of open areas is not possible, and if at all possible, it is very costly. Then we get lot of byproducts. When processing is there, then peel is there, then lot of seeds are there, then if oil is extracted, then we get the cake without oil. So lot of products are there which can be produced or which can be used for further processing or which can be fed to animals, or if nothing can be done, then this waste can be used for making manure, which is very useful for further cultivation. We can also get advantage of government schemes because Government of India is promoting processing sector. So some subsidy and other tax holiday etc. they are available for rural people. This will help and prevent the migration of labor force, because people will get year-round employment, so they will not migrate to urban areas. They will not add to the problems of urban areas. The population growth in urban areas can be slowed down. And at the time of harvest, we always know that glut situation is there. Farmers get low price for their produce. So if processing facilities are available in rural areas, then this type of situation can be avoided. And once the cost to the producer will be low, then consumer will also get these products at low price. And finally, we can say that there is opportunity for involving the self-help groups, because this will require some labor, some family labor also. Then self-help groups can contribute a lot in processing and marketing the produce. Now we will go to the classification. Means what are the classes of processing? First is primary. Primary processing, it involves removal of impurities. It means removing all the foreign material from the produce. Then grading. Grading can be done with the help of wire mesh or some different type of jalis or different size of gratings. This grading can be done. It can be as per size, as per quality, or the stage of ripening of fruits. Grading is possible. And graded products always fetch good price as compared to a mixed product. Another type of processing is secondary processing. It means further processing the primary produce. It may involve roasting, it may involve grinding or frying, or maybe preserving with the help of sugar, salt, or acidic medium like vinegar. Vinegar is a good preservative. So everything will be covered in secondary processing, like making flour, removing good quality rice, then making layya, making poha, chivda, etc. in the rural areas. All these things will be covered in secondary processing. Tertiary processing is converting the secondary processed food into ready-made items. Ready-to-eat items like bread, jam, sauce, or ordinary namkeen, everything will come under tertiary processing. Up to tertiary processing, it is easy to do in rural areas because advanced technology or lot of capital investment is not required. But if we go for advanced processing, it means increasing shelf life for export or off-season sale, or converting it to juices or other products of very high cost like chocolates, then we will require a lot of investment, as already discussed. For that, rural areas may not be very good place, and such things can be done at semi-urban areas or industrial areas in the urban areas. everywhere government is making some industrial areas and giving land for developing industrial areas where electricity, water and all other required facilities are given. So advanced processing can be done in that areas. Now we will discuss what can be done in at rural level. It means what is possible to be done at rural areas. Item wise we will go, and before that we will also think about the infrastructure, what is available at a rural scenario and what can be done with that infrastructure. The infrastructure which is available at a average developed village, it means some road is there for transportation, electrical power is there, it may power supply may be erratic, it may not be 24 hours. Then tractors for transportation and some trained people we can get. All these things are available at a rural, at an average developed village. First thing is extruded food. Extruded means which is extruded through some simple equipment. It may be noodle or it may be traditional sevai, which is made from a wheat flour, or sometimes in northeastern part it is extruded with the help of rice flour also. Another category is boil and serve. It means these things can be boiled and they can be served for consumption. Simple processing means dried vegetables. Sun-dried vegetables can be boiled and they can be served to consumer for eating. Or a simple broken wheat means dalia. This can be boiled in the milk or water and it can be used by consumer. Another category is soak and serve. It means it has to be soaked in water and then it is to be consumed. So a traditional thing is sattu, it is flour of black gram. Then poha, which is made in Bihar and eastern UP. Generally in all over India, this is supplied from these two areas only. So this comes under soak and serve. Then fry or bake. Lot of items are there in our traditional processing which can be fried and served to the consumer, or consumer can himself fry and eat it. It includes papad or sun-dried chips or products made from boiled rice. Lot of traditional products are there which use boiled rice or boiled and grinded rice for making. These things are, after making, they are dried in the sun and they can be sold to the consumers who will fry it and they will consume. Most of us know about the story of Lijjat Papad. They have given employment to thousands of women and they are selling the produce in entire India, and they have diversified into now 10 items and they are exporting also. And it is a unit which started by 6 or 7 persons and now it is giving employment to thousands of ladies. Then ready to serve items. Ready to serve items require no further processing. It may be pickle or it may be dry chutney powder, it may be jam or tomato sauce or milk sweets. All these items, they do not require any technology, any equipment or continuous power supply or high skill. They can be made in rural areas, they can be certified by people who are appointed by government or who are qualified for this purpose, and they can be sold. Then ready mixes. Ready mixes are the mixes which can be used in urban areas by the people who don't have time to cook. They may be rasam powder, it can be sambar powder or grinded mix for dosa idli. So people can directly soak it in the water, and depending on the use, depending on the product, it can be used by the consumer. Another thing is simple processed food. It is very first it is between primary or secondary processed food. Just making atta or flour out of wheat, or then refining the wheat to maida, or producing dalia, broken wheat, ragi powder in south, or grinded spices. All these things require a simple grinding mill and then refining the product. So these things can be done in rural areas without any technology or investment. Then comes the flavoring items. These items may be dry mint leaves, dry curry leaves, highly useful in South Indian products. Then neem and tulsi leaves. All these type of leaves, they are useful and they are used in entire India for making different products. Then fermented items, they are very popular now. They are bakery products. It may be bread, it may be buns, there may be rusk or other bakery products made out of wheat flour or rice flour. These bakery items can also be made in rural areas. Then sugarcane based items, it may be gur, khandsari or gur from dates. All these things can be done in rural areas and they are being done in rural areas. And then comes the oil extraction. Extraction of oil is a very age-old activity. Earlier it was done with the help of animals, and now the mills are there which use either fossil fuels or electricity, and there is wide scope for extraction of oil from non-traditional source like rice bran. Rice bran is available in rural areas in large quantities. Presently people simply burn it, but it can be used for extracting oil and other purposes also. So we have shown you how many type of products can be made in rural areas without much of intervention, and these products can be sold in urban areas, and they will definitely provide value addition at each step to the rural people. Now we will discuss sector wise position. If we go by sector wise, first sector will be cereals. The cereals are about 40% of the crop production of India. Very important crops because the cereals are responsible for our self-reliance in food sector. The shelf life of cereals is highest among the agriculture produce without no technology input. Then comes the losses. Losses in this sector are highest in the world. It is estimated that about 9 to 10% cereals produced in India, they are lost either in transportation or during storage or due to fungus or due to many other reasons. One of the issue which is in the mind of planners, which is in the mind of producers, is storage. Scientific storage of the product and construction of storage godowns which can store the product safely for 1 or 2 years, maybe more. The other interventions which are required in this sector are improved packing and transportation facilities, because they can reduce the losses. Transportation is very important because the produce is transported to railheads, and from railhead to the godown, or it is sold at a collection center, and from that collection center it goes to railhead, or it goes via truck to the godowns. At every level there should be loss should be reduced by any means. Present packing of gunny bags, it is not very useful. Because of these gunny bags, lot of produce is wasted during transportation. Cereals, they are being processed in India right now also, and in both the sectors, organized and unorganized. Big corporates have come into cereal processing. They are processing the products and selling also. The primary processing is milling and shelling. Everybody knows. And they can be shifted to rural areas. There is no dearth of technology for these two things, and definitely if these items are taken up in rural areas, then the producers will get benefit. Processing of paddy is very useful, is very beneficial to rural people, because the rice bran can be gainfully used for oil extraction and for the other uses. Oil from the bran is expected to be about 15% by weight. So we can think how much vegetable oil we will get if we process the paddy at rural areas. The other products which are based on cereals, they are dalia, maida, papad, rice products like poha, layya, and they can be produced in small scale units. Modernization and upgradation of rice mills and flour mills at rural areas will create a lot of employment. It will generate not only employment but investment also. Investment will come and gainfully used. Means people will get employment out of the investment done for modernization of rice mills or flour mills. Similarly, bakery units can also be established, and these products, if they can't fetch a urban market, they can at least get the niche market in semi-urban areas or small towns, because The bakery products, they have made entry into our household. Without bread, biscuit and other bakery products, people are not able to go to office. They just consume these things in breakfast, and lot of scope is there for bakery products. Another sector very important is vegetable and fruits. Vegetable and fruits are very important for giving nutrients to human body. As the cereals give energy, the vegetables and fruits give supply nutrients to our body. So very important sector. And as already discussed, different type of agroclimatic zones are there, different type of soils are there. So we have a huge variety of product. The availability for vegetables, availability for fruits, it is year round, it is available to consumers entire year, and due to good transportation facilities, now produce is going to far places. And we have also reduced the wastage, and the farmers are now getting somewhat better returns as compared to earlier days, because product can be transported to many areas and demand is increasing. However, in fruit sector, though large variety is there, but 7 varieties of fruits, they contribute to 60%, 80% of the production. It is banana, mango, citrus, guava, apple and pineapple. And if we go among this segment, the 60% is banana and mango only. Luckily, both these things can be processed and can be converted into many products. Again, same point, that productivity is very low in our country as compared to the other nations. There is a huge scope for increasing, and along with the beekeeping sector, if this sector is taken, then scientists say that productivity can be increased to 100 to 200%. And that access will be available for processing. And even then, if that is not available, the wastage which we are doing in this sector, that can also be processed. That is also available. The total production is about 130 to 140 metric ton. And spoilage at various levels, not metric ton, million tons. The spoilage at various levels is 25 to 28%, and it equivalent to 3,000 crores. So we can imagine how much is being wasted and how much can be produced and how much will be value addition. Our share is only 1%, and our present level of processing is only 2 to 4% depending on the type of produce. The green peas are maximum in this sector which are being processed. Sometimes people say that if produce is processed, then people will not get fresh product. Entire thing will go to processing sector and fresh thing will not be available to the consumer. Let us say that it is correct, assume that it is correct. But even if we only process the wastage, how much income generation will be there, you can see. It means by avoiding wastage only, we can get additional 3,000 crores to fruits and vegetable for processing. And if we go for increasing the productivity, then you can imagine how much thing is available for processing without affecting the present consumption of fresh fruits. There are many forms in which it can be processed. It is pickle, or it may be jam, sauce, syrup, or many products. Solar assisted drying is being done in case of vegetables, and simple solar dryers which will not require any energy, any cost. It will not add to any cost. Only drying can be done with the help of solar energy. Imagine how much we will be saving. Presently chilies are being dried and many other vegetables are being dried, but they are going to the persons, they are going to the industrialists who are further processing it for the advanced processes. It is not, dried vegetables are not generally going to the consumer directly. Once the cost is low, it will go to the consumer. In Rajasthan, it is a tradition to dry the vegetables with the help of solar energy and consume it in the lean season. So, lot of technology is not involved, and except when the produce is to be exported and shelf life, expected shelf life is to be very high, or the qualities should be as per EU norms or other norms, then only we will require advanced technology. So, as already said, but I will again repeat that simple technological applications can revolutionize this sector. Then very simple thing is grading, screening. Screening the product at rural area. It means presently people are selling the entire produce in the mandi or in the nearby area without grading it. Once they grade it, they will definitely get good price for different type of product. The grading is being done by the merchants, by the traders, and they are getting advantage of grading. So, with the help of simple screens, people can grade it and they can get good price. Pre-cooling facilities, if we can establish pre-cooling facilities in rural areas, then the shelf life of the product, when it is finally going to far places for marketing, it will be increased. And the byproduct which is available during processing of fruits and vegetables, it can be used for livestock. Then another sector is milk sector. We are not covering the animal husbandry sector because there will be a separate session on this. Milk sector we will cover in short. Our total production of milk is highest, but again I will say that productivity of the milk is lowest, means productivity of our cattle is much lower as compared to European or American cattle. The white revolution or Operation Flood resulted in increase of milk production, and it also organized the farmers and they are getting better price as compared to earlier. What was the contribution of Operation Flood? They converted the milk into a non-perishable and transportable item. It means earlier the milk was sold to the middlemen or to the traders out of fear that it will be spoiled in a day. But out of the processing plants, chilling plants employed by the NDDB and other cooperatives, now milk has been converted into a non-perishable and transportable item. That is why the farmers are getting good price, and a good marketing network has been introduced in the entire nation. And one of the good news from the milk sector is that the production comes from small and marginal farmers. Generally, they are keeping 2 or 3 cattle. Again, the milk yield, again that topic, that milk yield is as low as 1/10 of the Denmark. Therefore, there is a good scope for increasing the yield. And again, as I told in vegetable sector, that the surplus can be exported and it can be processed and it will benefit the farmers. So, increasing the productivity in this sector, it should be given emphasis. Large scale chilling plants are not available, so milk has to be collected and it should go to rural to urban areas where chilling plant or processing plant is there. But there are some items which can be done in rural area, and they are being done in rural areas also. It includes making khowa or paneer, making milk sweets, or making ghee, or making unprocessed butter or buttermilk. They are the simple products which can be processed, and they have good market in nearby urban or semi-urban areas, so it can be tried. Sugarcane sector is another sector, very traditional sector of India, and sugarcane is being processed, and lot of work is being done in villages for processing sugarcane wherever sugarcane is produced. And the possible items, they are gur or jaggery, raw sugar, vinegar, or the sweets made with the help of gur, like the nuts or different type of seeds are being mixed with the gur, and the long shelf life sweets are produced, and they are used generally in the season of winter. Now we will discuss a emerging new area, that is medicinal plants and herbs. Traditionally, the herbs and medicinal plants were collected from the forest area, and due to over exploitation of these plants from the forest area, now they are going for extinction, near extinction or complete extinction. So commercial farming of these herbs is being encouraged by Government of India. Lot of herbs and medicinal plants, they are consumed dry, or they are consumed in dry powder form directly by the people, and most of them, they are not part of any prescription medicine. So these products can be manufactured in rural areas, and a quality control mechanism can be developed, and these products can be sold to urban areas for consumption, and even in rural areas for consumption. Another thing is using the part which is used for making medicines from the plant. It means whatever useful part is there, it may be leaf, or it may be stem, or root, or fruits, or seeds. It can be removed, it can be cleaned, dried, and it can be supplied to the drug manufacturers, who will make the final product, and rural people can take up the primary thing as discussed. Till now we have discussed about the processing, what can be done, and what are the advantages, of doing in rural area, etc. But there are some constraints which we want to overcome. One is productivity of Indian farms is lower than the international average. This item we have discussed again and again. So this constraint has to be overcome with the help of scientists, with the help of technology. The quality of produce which we are getting is not uniform. Sometimes size is big, sometimes size is very small, or there are different problems with the quality of the produce. Maybe due to seasonal changes, maybe due to excess rains, or due to different reasons, we are not getting the uniform quality. Another bigger problem is presence of large number of middlemen in the marketing channel, which we will discuss in detail in some other session. Then there is transport and storage infrastructure. Till date, it is not adequate, though lot of work is being done in this area. Domestic demand is growing, but at a very slow rate. And in some of the produce, the cost of packing is very high, and it is more than the cost of produce sometimes. Now we will discuss about the required support. What support is required to overcome these constraints? First, we will discuss about technology. So technological support is required for control of loss due to fungus, pest and rodents. It means the finished product should be saved from the losses caused by fungus, and whatever can be done, whatever technology is required, it can be supplied to the rural people. Then the technology for correct harvesting, moisture control and transit storage. What is the correct time for harvesting and what is the optimum level of moisture? All this technology is required to be told to rural people. That during transport, a good packing should be there, and technology for making good packing at a reasonable cost is required. Then wherever long-term storage is involved, like storing food grains, then the technology for storing them for a longer period should be there. Then during processing, there are losses due to excessive peeling, overboiling or incorrect mixing. So for all this, the required technological support in form of equipment is to be given. Then whenever bulk volume items are transported, generally they are transported in gunny bags, so there is breakage, there is spoilage due to this. So using good trays and the technology for making these things at low cost, it is required. Then the technology for controlling the ripening. Generally the ripening is left to the nature, but with the help of technology it can be controlled so that shelf life is longer. All these things, they can control the losses, and it is said that in Indian conditions there are a lot of losses at primary level as compared to the losses in developed area where the losses are at consumption level. Small interventions like polystyrene, expanded polystyrene or other products of plastic, they can reduce the transportation losses. Then another support is required in form of marketing. The small amount of food processed presently in the rural areas, they don't have any organized market. The people go to urban areas and whatever price they get, they are compelled to sell it. Generally, the dried herbs and dried spices farmers bring to the urban areas, but the trader and middlemen, they don't give good price, and they are at their mercy to get the price. As we have given a marketing support like Amul in case of milk, so similar type of institutions can be developed in food processing sector also. One option is available in form of KVIC, that is Khadi and Village Industries Commission. Now it is Khadi and Village Industry Board. They have a good presence in the entire nation and experience in selling the produce from rural areas, small producers and tiny industries. And they have presence in urban areas, so their services can be used in this area. NAFED and KVIC network, they can also do the work of quality control and they can supply the products, final products to urban consumers. Another support which is required from government is skill development. Except primary processing, skill is required for the good quality product. So training is required for tertiary and advanced processing. Training is also required in the field of certification, inspection and quality control. Certification, inspection, quality control. These three things is very important when the produce is to be supplied to a high-end consumer or for the export. Otherwise also quality is very important as the items are to be consumed, but once it is going to be exported, then quality control is very important, and without inspection and certification it cannot be done. And trained manpower is also required for packaging of the finished product, and these programs can be started at ITI or polytechnics or under the various employment generation schemes of Government of India. Now we have discussed about the required support. So now we will discuss what is the support being given by Government of India. It has been identified as a thrust area, and investment up to 10 crores is classified as a priority sector advance. Then establishment of food parks and contract farming are being popularized in the processing sector, and ministry is giving money in the form of assistance for conducting workshops, seminars, exhibitions, publications or making films. The sector has been delicensed completely, and 100% FDI is on automatic route. There is excise duty holiday, there is income tax holiday for this sector for some time. For making a cold chain, there is a ceiling of subsidy up to 75 lakhs. It means up to 75 lakh subsidy is available for cold chains. Irradiation facilities can be established, and grant is there up to 25%, and this irradiation facilities a must once the shelf life of the produce is to be increased without much of preservatives. The technology upgradation, modernization, everything, for all these things grant is available. Similar grants as told earlier. Opening of training center is also assisted in form of grant, and for establishing laboratories in government sector, the entire cost will be borne by Government of India, and for private sector 33 to 50% cost is borne by Government of India. And government is also giving grant for running degree or diploma courses in this field, and government expect that states also help central government by amending APMC Act, declaring the agriculture as a seasonal, declaring agriculture processing as a seasonal industry, and lowering the VAT rates on the produce. Now we will discuss about the macro level initiatives. Maybe some repetition may be there, but this will include government, corporate, cooperative, all sectors. First is promotion of cooperative marketing on the pattern of Amul or Safal. Another is organizations like KVIB, means Khadi Village Industry Board. They should be involved in marketing of the products and also export promotion. Earlier, lot of direct marketing was there, but slowly it is fading. So there is a need to promote direct marketing where farmers or producers or processors can directly sell their produce in the group housing societies or in the schools where midday meal scheme is being funded by Government of India. There was a tradition of old markets, old tradition where weekly markets were held in various cities, in various places, and in these places the farmers and the other people who are making goods at rural areas, they were selling their produce directly to the consumer without involvement of any middleman. So these type of mandis, they can be encouraged again, and some beginning has been done in Delhi Haat. We know that in Delhi Haat has been made where the producers are coming for short period, they are selling and they go back, and again that place is allotted to another producer. So this is a place where person can sell his produce without involvement of middlemen. So such type of facilities can be made available in most of the urban areas. Then there is one another thing, it is consumer awareness. Means consumer should be made aware about the nutrition value of the food and its relation to attractive packaging or advertisement. It means people should be made aware that they can consume the locally made food or locally processed food without attractive packing, and it has the same nutrition value. And people in rural areas should be encouraged, they should be educated about processing, and it should be told to them that it is a part-time business and they will get a lot of extra income out of it. The retail chains which are now popular in most of the urban areas and corporate buyers, they should source their product directly from the farmers without involvement of middlemen. Private investment is required in core infrastructure so that wastage before primary processing or during primary or secondary processing can be controlled. The ancillary sector for production of equipment and tools can also be included as priority sector like food processing. After these interventions, we hope that processing sector will get a boost. So we will now talk about reaching the global consumers. Large multi-state cooperatives or dedicated sourcing and marketing companies will help in reaching global markets. So we have to form such chains, we have to form such companies who can directly purchase the goods from farmers and market or export it. Already organized business houses are there, they can adopt some of the processing sectors, some of the geographical areas, and they can start exporting. Testing and certification institutions are need of the hour, because without their certification or in absence of these institutions, export is not possible. So for export of these products, something has to be done at higher level, maybe corporate level or government level. Then only this will pick up, and from the present level of 1 to 2%, it will go up to 10 to 20% in 5 or 10 years. Now we will try to finish this talk, and before finishing I will discuss about the way ahead. What is the further way? Further, first thing is to shift the sector from urban to rural areas, and shifting of this sector to rural areas will definitely change the scenario of Indian villages. Another thing is controlling the wastage. Once wastage is controlled, then progress of this industry will be very high. And huge investment is not required. Some investment wherever required is to be made. And networking of producers and consumers is required to avoid too many middlemen, and this will also reduce the cost, and once cost is reduced, the consumption of processed food will also increase. Now we will sum up the discussion. We have gone through the various alternatives which are available for processing for agriculture produce at rural area itself. It means produce has not to go to urban area for processing. There are alternatives available through which it can be processed at rural area. Then natural advantages of a country because of the agroclimatic zones, because of the variety of produce we have discussed, and we have also discussed the ways to overcome the problem and the constraints for growth of this sector. Thank you.